everyone. We're going to get the arms onto Trick or Treat Sam. We already got his legs on, so the arms are going on basically the same way, and then we're going to put his head on. So we're coming together here. I am using a long darning needle because I wanted to show you with that. And a lot of thread just to make sure you have enough, because you can absolutely, if you want, you certainly can just stitch the arms on. Just a few stitches right there. That's one way to do it. Now, another way to do it, which I'm going to show you, is position your arms the way you want them on Sam, on your doll. And you're going to take your needle and you're going to go from one side of the arm at the very, very top, and the very, very end, either end of that arm, you're going to go straight through the body, very straight as you can. Come out the other side, you're coming out at the edge of the arm. And the reason you want to get to the edge is because you're going to kind of stitch it right just as you would be stitching it on, but the only difference is you're going through the body and it makes it a little more secure. Now, the one thing you want to be careful of when you're doing this is not to lose your needle in the middle of that polyfill of the body. The only reason is certainly you'll be able to get it out, but it will be with a lot of effort and the polyfill will get pulled. The needle will probably get stuck. Now, as you're doing this, I'm on the third stitch, and I'm going to tell you what, I want to make sure my body and my polyfill is not becoming what they call squished. Okay, you want to keep it in a nice loose, you want it to keep its shape basically, because when you do this, you're putting it through. This is grabbing all the polyfill also, and it grabs it beautifully. So this is a nice secure method to sew the arms on. It's super easy, and you're getting both done at the same time. So now we're coming to the very end of our arms being stitched on. Almost done. Bring it out through. And again, see how I'm holding it, but when I do that, I could be also distorting the shape. So I'm going to be very gentle when I pull that, and I'm going to make sure that I'm pulling that back. Okay, so I still have my shape, and I'm going to check my arms. I'm checking my arms to see if they're on secure. This one I feel I would like to bring a stitch back through. I just want to make sure I get that stitch through, get that arm on there nice and secure, and there we go. So, as you go through, always stop and kind of test and make sure that you're getting that the way you want it. Okay, so that feels really good to me. That's how you're going to do the legs also. The only difference is when you do these legs, there's a couple different ways you can do them. You can certainly hold them together and kind of go straight through that way. That'd probably be a little easier for you. Or you can go back to front, or you can even go up through the foot all the way to the top of the body, back down. And that is actually the method that I use for legs. It is a little tricky to do it that way. No pun intended. So, okay, so we're going to tie this off, and then I'm going to show you how to do the head. Now, I could just leave it and not tie it off, but because I'm showing you this in steps, I prefer to tie this off, and I'm going to pull this yarn down and get it out of the way so it's concealed, and see it's getting stuck in the polyfill. The polyfill is a wonderful type of material that does grab. It grabs and holds, to tell you the truth. So Okay, so now we want to make sure our shape is good with the polyfill and the arms are on, this and that. Now we're going to put the head on. And I am saving the face for last because for me, I want the head in place, and then I will proceed to put my face on and collar after the head is in place. Okay, so now we're going to use gray because gray is the color of the head, and I really want to stay with that color since I am going to be attaching the head from the very top of the head. I'm going to go through the body and come down. I'm going to come down to the bottom of the body. Okay. Now, some people might opt to just go around. I think it's a little tricky doing that. I definitely put some stitches there too. However, to initially start the attaching, I will start at the very top of the head, and I'm going to go straight down. Now this is a long needle, but guess what? I got to keep my hands on this needle because if this needle gets stuck in the middle of the body, we're going to have a problem. So my goal is I'm coming down from the top of the head. I'm going to come down in between the legs right here, the bottom of the stomach. So I'm coming down. I'm keeping my hands on my body. I'm going to have to squish the body. Now there it is down the, you can't really see it. And here it is. And that's where I'm bringing it down the bottom of the back. Is totally fine. Look at this. I'm not even holding the head and it's already staying secure. So we're going to pull that. And this is not going to show as we work at the bottom of the body here. We're just going to kind of come over a few stitches. Come over a few. Because what we want is, now when we go back up through, we want it to be even and balanced, kind of the stitches coming up. So now this stitch is going to come up a little more on that side of the head, and then we're going to go around and come on the other side. And that way we've covered all parts of the head. So again, see how I'm squishing the body? Now I am doing that to get the needle up through so I don't lose that needle. And there it is. Now it didn't perfectly come out the top of the head, but that's okay. It's pretty darn close. And again, I want to keep my shaping. I want to make sure everything's shaped. Now this will disappear. You're not going to worry about a tiny little bit of the gray, because that's going to disappear into your orange as I pull it. There we go. So now we're at the top right side of the head, keeping my shape, always checking my shape and polyfill that I haven't pulled too tight. Now I'm going to go to the other side of the head. This is how I do it. Other people may do it differently. And now I'm going to go down. And that will be my last stitch, and then I will do some stitches around the neck, and then that will be securing it again. So I'm bringing it down through. It's at the bottom of the body on the other side. Again, you want to check the shape. Don't pull it too tight, but you want to make sure it's secure. Okay, so that's a very nice way to start securing the head. And what I'm going to do is tie a knot. I'm going to tie a knot here. Then I'm going to pull this through the polyfill. So it kind of gets lost. I'm going to go the other direction. But this way it's lost in the polyfill, and that's what you want. You don't want it to be showing. Okay, now the head is on. Now you're saying, well, okay, but I want it a little more secure. So what we're going to do is you probably ideally use a smaller needle, but what you want to do to secure it is start anywhere in the base of the head, and you're going to come through to the other side of your body, just below. Whoops, forgot to put, and make sure you put your knot in your yarn, because that would help an awful lot. So let's do that one again. We're going to start at the base of the head, and we're going to come to the other, all the way to the other side. Okay, now we're going to secure. We're going to go down into the orange part underneath the head on the other side and come out. And you're just going to do that all around the neck so that it's secure. And you're going to go, kind of go a stitch over in your gray and come out in your orange. And as you do that all the way around the neck, that neck becomes more secure. And now you're going to do another stitch through your orange, come up through your gray, and that's basically what you're doing. You're crisscrossing all the way through. Gray to orange, gray to orange. Whoop. And you're going to do that all the way around methodically. And there's your head. So I hope that helps. That's the beginning of Sam is coming together at this point. So we will see you in the next video where we're putting his face on. Super easy. And we're going to crochet his collar and put that on, and then he's done. Have a wonderful morning.